you nominated your CPF beneficiaries? For many of us working Singaporeans, our CPF savings are part of the inheritance that we leave behind to our loved ones. But naming a beneficiary is just the start. What happens to our CPF money that's been used for housing? How do we ensure that a minor child is being properly provided for? If we get any of these details wrong, it can drastically change what our loved ones get at the end of the day. Welcome to the Money Talks podcast. I'm Andrea Heng, and today I'm joined by Pang Zhe Liang. He's a financial advisor and he's also the author of a book called The CPF Playbook. And he's going to help us navigate the surprisingly complex landscape that is CPF nominations. Hi, Zhe Liang.
Hi, Andrea.
I'm so glad that you're here today because I admit I haven't made my CPF nominations yet. So
why not?
I know. I'll get to it. This year is the year I've told my listeners and my followers, this year is the year that I'm getting all of this done.
Right.
So don't worry, I'll get right on it. Now, before we get into all of the complicated situations that we find ourselves in and that involve CPF nominations, right? Perhaps can you tell us what actually goes into making a CPF nomination? Okay, what do I have to do?
What do you have to do? Right. So, of course, I think, first of all, we can break this down into three parts. All right. First of all will be the eligibility. So, in terms of whether you're eligible, you need to be at least 16 years old. All right. And of sound mind.
Okay.
So, that's the first thing to take note of. Secondly, you will need to find two witnesses who are at least 21 years old and not the nominees.
Okay.
Very important, because if you are the nominee and you're also the witness, there's a slight conflict of interest.
That's right.
Yes, so they have to take note of that. And then the third thing is to know what actually goes into the CPF nomination. All right, what can be nominated under this form, right?
Yes.
So basically, that will be the savings in your 3 CPF accounts, your ordinary account, your MediSave account, your special account if you are below 55, you are above 55 or above, there will be your retirement account.
That's right.
So this will be your what we call your CPF savings in general. Any, let's say, discounted Singtel shares that you may have received from the government, all right, and any unused CPF life premiums, all right. So all this will form part of the assets in your CPF nomination.
Okay.
And to do that, go to any of the CPF service centers, all right, if you prefer to do it physically at the CPF counter. If not, actually, Andrea, you can do it online.
Oh, yeah. I was about to get to that.
Yes.
So how easy is it to get it done online?
With a SingPass login, you don't even have to type in your username password, right? Just scan Face ID, all right, or fingerprint sensor.
Yeah.
Log in, within 10 minutes, you are done.
I really have no excuse.
You really don't.
Yeah, except I have to really think quite hard who my nominees need to be because they cannot be the witnesses, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, good tips. Thanks very much. So I found in my digging up of the CPF website, the producers as well, I found this thing called the Enhanced Nomination Scheme, and there's this other one called the Special Needs Savings Scheme. I wanted to talk about the first one here. What is the Enhanced Nomination Scheme actually?
Right. Okay, so when we talk about CPF nomination, there are 3 types of nomination schemes available. The first, all right, which is the most common one and also the default option, that is the cash nomination. Basically, when you nominate, all right, your nominees, all right, that's your beneficiaries, right, will just get the monies in cash. Simple does that.
Okay.
All right. So what if you do not want your nominees to receive the monies in cash for some reason? Say they don't really know how to manage cash, then you're afraid of overspending, right? Because CPF as a social security system is to ensure that our basic needs are well taken care of, right? So you can opt for this enhanced nomination scheme where rather than to give your nominees cash, you transfer your CPF savings into your nominees' CPF account.
So CPF to CPF.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So that's what the ENS does.
Yes.
What about the Special Needs Savings Scheme? I'm interested in that because previously on the Money Talks podcast, we've had special needs caregivers and parents talk to us about, making sure that they're leaving behind enough for their special needs child. So talk to us about this one.
Okay, so special needs savings scheme is different from the first 2 types of CPF nomination which we have in the case where for both cash as well as the enhanced nomination scheme, we talk about lump sum, right? So for special needs savings scheme, the payout is actually made to your nominee, all right, in this case, there's a child with special need on a monthly basis rather than a single lump sum.
Right.
Yes, so this helps to probably ensure that your child welfare or caregiving needs can be taken care of.
Okay, so when you talked about special needs child, what exactly is meant by a child? What defines the age of a special needs child in this context?
If you are below 18, all right, your legal guardian will take charge of this money that is distributed under the SNSS, which is the Special Needs Savings Scheme. Okay, if you are above 18 and of sound mind, all right, the nominee will just get the money.
So you get it directly?
Yes, you get that directly, typically just credit into the bank account. Okay, so if you are 18 and above, all right, in the event that you lack mental capacity, all right, if you have already an existing lasting power of attorney, all right, the CPF board can actually make payment to the donee.
Okay.
Okay, but what if you do not have a lasting power of attorney done? All right, in this case, you will be a court-appointed deputy and the CPF board will just make payment to this court-appointed deputy.
Okay, so everything is to make sure that there are safeguards for this special needs recipient, so to speak. Okay. So the structure for the special needs savings scheme in that it makes sure that the whole lump sum doesn't get used up, right? It's a monthly allowance, right? Can I arrange a similar thing for my family members that don't have special needs just because I want to make sure they don't spend all the money in one go?
I think this is called exceptional needs. Right. So special needs savings scheme, right, is really meant for a child with special needs.
Right.
All right. So in this case, what we call exceptional needs, right? Sorry for a bad joke. All right. What you can do is actually still do a cash nomination. But this nomination, the payout goes to a trust company. Then this trust company will make sure that your wife only get a certain amount of money every month.
So actually, you can nominate trusts to disburse the money for you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's something new that we learned. All right. So the big question is, when should somebody update their CPF nomination? Because I understand that it's one thing to make the nomination. It's a separate thing to update it. So when should we update it? At which milestones in life?
Well, when we talk about general life milestone from the nomination or from the estate planning perspective, right, that will be upon your marriage.
Okay.
All right. In the event of a divorce.
Right.
Welcoming new members into a family or death of a nominee. All right. In addition to that, there is also another life stage to consider when there's a change in your asset distribution.
Okay.
For
what
example,
do you mean?
all right, let's say my CPF monies, meant to give it to my parents.
Yes.
Okay? But my cash, the savings that I have or the investment that I have, I prefer to give it to my family, my own family, that's my wife, my kid. So that actually helps to spread out the estate distribution better.
Oh, I see. Okay. So when it comes to marriage, you have to make the nomination, it's not made automatically?
Okay, so this is actually my own story, right? So what happened was because I know about this CPF nomination scheme quite early, I started working very young. I think after O-levels.
Oh,
part-time
same.
work.
Yeah.
Then you get like the bit of like say CPF contributions there. So when I first get into CPF, then I'm going to make my CPF nomination.
Okay.
All right, that was before I get married, right?
Right.
So
hardworking is better than me.
Yeah, thank you. So when I got married, then actually this CPF nomination was revoked.
Oh.
All right, yes. So previously, all right, because still single, right, I nominated my mom, all right, to be the nominee, all right, the beneficiary. Then right now, after I get married, in the event of my death, if I didn't do any CPF nomination, my mom actually get nothing.
So where would the money have gone?
All right, so if I didn't do any new CPF nomination, according to the intestacy law, the money actually goes to my wife. Okay, although they are on good relationship, but the outcome is not my intended outcome,
Yes,
you see.
correct.
Yes.
Because when you make a CPF nomination, you can actually allocate how much each person gets, right?
Yes, if upon my marriage, I just update my CPF nomination and say, okay, I give my mom 50%, or then at least she gets something.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Right. How did you find out that your CPF nomination was revoked? Actually?
Very good question. All right, so this one is probably also for the viewers. You can actually, once you make your CPF nomination, you can actually view it online.
Okay.
All right, view your nomination details so you can see like, okay, who are the beneficiaries and whatsoever. And following this, all right, do you know that upon divorce, your CPF nomination actually remains valid.
Okay, I'm confused. So when you get married, it gets revoked. But when
Yes.
you get divorced, it doesn't get revoked.
Yes, so following the same story, all right, let's say right now, upon marriage, good relationship with my wife,
Sure.
obviously, thankfully. I nominate my wife to be the nominee for my CPF monies, right?
Okay.
But for some blue reason, we get divorced. Then I forgot about my nomination because it's done online these days, right? I
Yes.
forgot about it. Then, imagine how upset my mom will be when she find out.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So when you do get divorced, you have to actively go in and make sure that it's revoked.
You have to either revoke or I would say don't just revoke it, update, make a new one so that at least it still follow your intended wishes, you see.
Wow. Okay. I better go and check then. And I better tell all my divorced friends to check their CPF nominations also.
Yes.
Okay. What are some of the common oversights that you've seen people make during these life events?
The most prominent one that I can think of was happened to my client some years ago when I was trying to help the wife out, right? Because the husband passed away, right? Help out with the estate planning or the distribution of the assets. Then we realized that one of the child is missing from getting the CPF monies.
Oh.
So there are 3 children altogether.
And one was missing.
And one of them actually did not get the CPF monies.
Oh.
So we try to find what happened and all. All right. And in the end, it was really like a pure oversight because when the 3rd child was born, they forgot to update it.
Oh no. So when you have each child, please make sure to update your CPF nomination.
Because you can imagine how busy the family gets as it grows, right? Then they totally forgot.
Oh no. So,
Yes.
okay, I hope that 3rd child got something in the end.
They have to
Something else.
reshuffle kind of
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of us use CPF to pay for our home, right? Now, when we die, what happens to that money? Does that money stay with the house? So let's say I continue to have a mortgage, right, when I die, and that comes out of my CPF. Does that money continue to pay the house or pays whatever is left of the house, or will it be returned to my CPF account?
Right. Okay. So let's try to understand this question in 3 parts. Okay.
Okay.
All right. CPF actually, if you look at the whole CPF scheme, right, it's always in trees. All right. So first thing first, all right, is the use of the monies from your ordinary account to pay for your mortgage. Correct.
Yes.
It's a very common thing that Singaporeans like to do because we get CPF contribution, right? So to answer this question, upon your passing, any charge, all right, that means both the principal and the accrued interest from your ordinary account savings will be waived off.
Okay.
Okay, so that means, brings me to the second point, which is on your CPF savings. That means your money in your 3 CPF accounts. All right, this will just be distributed according to your wishes if you have done the CPF nomination. If not, that will be under the Intestate Succession Act. So you don't have to so-called use your CPF money to pay for the house or the house money go to the CPF accounts. No.
Okay.
Right? Because first of all, any charge on your CPF savings has been waived off.
Right.
Okay. Then the third point will be on the legal ownership of the house.
Right.
Okay. So when we talk about the legal ownership of a house, typically, all right, if it's a HDB, we will have our home protection scheme or our private insurance scheme that take care of the mortgage.
Yes.
All right. Legal ownership, when we talk about in Singapore structure, that will be either a joint tenancy or a tenancy in common.
Yes.
If it's a joint tenancy, the surviving owner just get the share.
Yes.
All right. In tenancy in common, all right, it will be according to my wishes.
Okay.
Or if I have done a will, if not, then again, it's just the intestacy law.
Okay, understood. Okay, so if here's another scenario. If I have beneficiaries or I nominate beneficiaries that live overseas and they are still Singaporean, what can they expect to do in terms of preparing the documentation, banking logistics, foreign exchange even, tax issues in their home country? What happens there?
This is very tough. All right. So first thing first, if they are Singaporeans or permanent residents, it's actually very simple because CPF board has their contact details in their database, right? So CPF board will just reach out to them, typically via email.
Okay.
All right. Then you just have to respond. Then these monies can be transferred to either your local bank account if you still have one in Singapore. If not, you will be transferred overseas. Then of course, if you transfer overseas, well, FX, taxation, tax law, these are some things that we cannot avoid. Yes. So on the other hand, if let's say the nominee is a foreigner.
Yes.
Okay. In such a case, this person will have to give or present their identity document from their country to CPF board to prove that it's legitimate, that person, right? So that is the first thing. And of course, they also have to provide their mailing address so that CPF board can liaise with them. And that is where I want to remind for yourself, right? Let's say if you are intending to nominate someone who is a foreigner, all right, that means not a Singaporean or PR, please try to use the identity document similar to our NRIC. Try to avoid passport. Reason being, passport will expire.
Yes, passports get updated.
Yes, and the thing is, if you throw away your old passport, then it gets even more complicated or difficult to verify if that I'm really the legitimate person.
Okay, so
Correct.
IC is the best, or whatever kind of national identity card is the best option.
Yes, that's correct.
Right, yeah, that's a good point actually.
Yes.
Okay, so some of us use CPF to invest via the CPFIS investment scheme, right? What happens to any CPFIS holdings, uninvested dividends, and interest at the time of death? And how does that affect what the nominees actually receive?
Okay, so that's where we go back to our earlier point where we talk about the assets that are covered under CPF nomination. Basically, the savings in your 3 CPF accounts, discounted Singtel shares, if any, unused CPF life premiums, if any. So these are the only 3 items that are covered under the CPF nomination. Investment is not part of this.
Oh, okay.
Yes, all right, because there are only 3 things, right?
Right.
Easier to remember. Right. So instead, if you have any investment that you have made under the CPF investment scheme, basically you invest the monies in your ordinary account or special account, this can be separately covered under the will. So in your will, please make sure to include this investment. And why is that so? Because investment is something that we don't know how to manage it immediately. For example, maybe my intention is to hold.
Yeah.
Especially if the market drops, please don't sell, correct? Then, so that is one thing. Or maybe my intention is to sell at a specific frame or specific time.
Yes.
And therefore, it is more appropriate to have a more flexible tool, in this case, to use a will to manage these investments.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's CPF nomination, right? If you don't make a CPF nomination, but you do have a will, and you update your will ever so often, which takes precedence here? How does that money get distributed?
Oh, okay. So it's important to realize that, well, no matter how nicely or how concise your will can be or comprehensive your will can be to say that I want my CPF monies to be distributed in a certain manner, it has zero effect.
Wow.
Okay?
So you really have to make that CPF nomination.
Yes. And this is actually a very intentional step by CPF board.
Okay.
Because your CPF savings are actually protected from creditors. This ensures that only your family members, all right, or your loved one can get the CPF monies for their living needs, you see. While for monies that is like typically distributed by will, your creditors may have an advantage over this money.
I see. Okay. So
that's not the intended outcome, right?
yeah, exactly. I think that's a really good explanation as to why the will not supersede the CPF nomination.
Yes.
My goodness. Okay. All right. So the final question here is, with a valid nomination, is there anything families need to do after a death to basically get that CPF savings be disbursed smoothly? I mean, what documents do we prepare? Who do we see? Who do we talk to?
Well, I think we are very blessed in Singapore whereby our systems are well integrated. All right, you may be surprised to know that actually you don't have to do anything. All right, the relevant authorities or the relevant agencies, right, will actually inform CPF board. All right, and if you are one of the nominees, all right, CPF board will come and look for you.
Oh.
And when CPF board send you a notification, please reply. All right. If you don't reply, you cannot get the money.
This is one knock on the door that you should not avoid and
Yes,
ignore,
exactly.
right? Okay, so everything's just basically automated. Any snags that we should avoid?
No, it's really very seamless,
We are very efficient.
very efficient. Without a CPF nomination, all right, that means we go through like the intestacy law, all right, going through the public trustee office. This whole process can take at least 6 months to complete.
Right.
So there's a big difference.
It's a very big difference. So save your time, save your money, and make sure you make that CPF nomination. This is why it's important. It's not just because you want to protect your family. You want to make sure that your money is protected as well. So as you can see, there's a lot to think about, a lot to understand, and a lot to get in order when it comes to our CPF nominations. I'm really, really glad that Zhe Liang was able to sit here and give us his insights and his tips, as well as all of the advice that he gave us here today. For you listening out there, you can always find us on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course on Me Listen. You can leave us a message there, and you can also rate us where you find us. Big thanks to the team as well: Tiffany Ang, Net Fatalvero, Junaini Johari, Hanida Amin, Saye Wind, and Joanne Chan. I'm Andrea Heng, signing off for the Money Talks podcast.